if you could talk a little bit about casting and how this cast came together. And I guess the obvious question is, Bill Murray, how the hell did you pull that off?
Well, the casting really started with Woody. Just like he got the movie made, like by getting Woody involved. The studio, once we had like a actor of his caliber, they decided, okay, we're gonna make this movie. And that was just me happening to be watching No Country one day and just like seeing him on the screen, remembering, oh yeah, like Woody is awesome. Like I haven't seen that guy for a while. Like he would be so perfect for the character. And then I had to go and convince him to do it because he really he was not a fan of the genre, did not like zombie movies. He said actually verbatim, like, I feel like I spent my whole career avoiding zombie movies, and he didn't want to like have anything to do with it. And so and he was scared of a first-time director and everything like that. Like he really it took some persuading, but somehow I convinced him to do it. And then once he got involved, like everybody else kind of fell in pretty naturally. Emma and Jesse, we went through a traditional casting process, and they were just like the best actors for the roles, and they won it, and we're awesome. And I feel very lucky to work with them. My taste runs more independent, and so to get to put Jesse in like a zombie commercial studio movie was like really cool, just because he's so not that type. Mm-hmm. And there were some other people that maybe the studio would have preferred that are more commercial, and I'm so glad that we went with like a really grounded, talented actor as opposed to just somebody who's like maybe been on a TV show or something like that, or in Mac ads. But I'm really like I'm really glad that it worked out the way that it did. And then as far as Abigail, like you can't do better when it comes to 12-year-old girls. Like she was the dream throughout, and I think that so as far as the Bill Murray of it all, it was originally scripted as Swayze in the TV show version. And obviously he was sick, and so that didn't seem like the right decision for a zombie character. And it was actually originally scripted purely as a zombie and not as a person playing themselves. They go to the celebrity mansion. In the original version, it was like Swayze, and like it's a Swayze zombie, and like he like attacks him while he's like doing the pottery wheel from Ghost, and we like reference like all these like it was such a funny version. Like they did the lift from like Dirty Dancing, like he attacks Woody and like Woody like gives him the lift. Like it was like a really funny version, but it just obviously didn't seem right. And so we wrote like a Stallone draft, a Seagal draft, a Van Damme draft. Like we like the dudes, the writers who you got to give them credit for this amazing movie, but also for just working so hard to like try and like The Rock. Mark Hamill, Joe Pesci, like we had like
they wrote drafts for all of these.
We had 19 drafts or something for like various celebrities who all passed. Like they all passed, and then the one person that signed aboard, I won't mention, but he was a friend of Woody's, and he fell out like 2 weeks before filming for whatever reason, and so we were really screwed. And that's actually like when the Mark Hamill draft came, when it was like 2 weeks before shooting. It was like we got to get somebody in there, and they all passed. And so Woody said, okay, well, let me see if I can make some phone calls. Called his buddy Bill, said, we're having fun down in Atlanta, you should come down and join us. And for whatever reason, like Bill got that day, just was like, okay. And then like literally like 48 hours before filming, no, I'm not even lying, I can remember it so clear, where you're like standing around, Woody had his phone out on speaker, and it's okay, Bill, well, we'll see you tomorrow. And like, that was, he was like, okay, Woody. And then it was like, we all cheered. We're like so excited. Like, couldn't believe it was true. Like, literally, like the day that he showed up, like, no one was sure, because he's an elusive guy, and like, no one was totally sure if he was actually going to show up. And when he walked up to that mansion, I can remember it so clearly, like, just like, I couldn't believe that he was there, like, and that I was actually going to get to work with them, and I was going to be in the movie. And I mean, so far exceeded my expectations. Yeah. First-time filmmaker, like just the sequence, like if you think about like the Mark Hamill version versus the Bill Murray version, but so Bill Murray, but I guess like the Bill Murray was like, if I'm gonna come down there, I need to have some lines, and so at the very last minute we reconceived it from being a zombie who attacks as to just Bill Murray like who's pretending to be a zombie for whatever reason to like stay alive, and somehow that makes sense in the logic of the movie, and so yeah, it was all written on the fly, and like his makeup trailer, like I was shooting some scene with Woody and Jesse, and they're like writing the pages like that. It was so exciting, and it all just came together like incredibly. And when I can't remember who came up with the idea to kill him, but it wasn't the writers and it wasn't Bill Murray. It was like maybe a grip or some, I forget who it was, but it was like, you should kill him. And we were all like, that's brilliant. Like, it's like, it was so good. And like, to me, I think everybody's probably favorite part of the whole movie. And just, God, it was such a blessing. But literally, the whole thing, like 3 days before shooting, you couldn't have predicted what was going to happen. We'd actually cast these 2 stunt people to play Bubby and Peepaw, this old Jewish couple that lived in a big mansion, and like it was going to be like a zombie sequence. We actually had these stunt actors fly in. They were ready to go. We had their makeup designed just in case Bill Murray didn't show up or we couldn't secure celebrity like in time. And just if you can think about that version of the movie, the Bubby Peepaw version versus like the Bill Murray version, we just lucked out so big.